Hey guys, and welcome to week 42 of my devlog for Finding Home, the zombie game I'm creating. Sorry for the video being a little bit late. I've been feeling a little bit underneath the weather. Um, but yeah, going forward, I'm still gonna try to get my weekly videos in there, and for the first little bit, I'm gonna be trying to get the patches in as they come. But after the first month, I think I'm gonna do patches on a monthly basis. As you can see with on the screen. It is a new month, and the first Tuesday every month, Unreal gives you new assets for free, as long as you pick them up this month. So if you pick up before the first Tuesday of December, you can get this asset cleaning, which just removes unused assets in your project. This dissolve effects, which gives if you kill your character or something like that, you can get them to dissolve when they die. Kind of cool, but I'm doing looting, so my characters will be laying on the ground dead. This modular asset is pretty cool. As you can see here, you get building, interior, exteriors, some supplies, lathes, metal lathes for making bolts and stuff like that. Doors, piping, windows. But I actually had bought this object, this pack, for 50% off a couple months ago. So it sucks that I went on free. Well, it always sucks when you get something on a deal and you're like, yeah, I got it on a deal, and then you find that there's a better deal out there, and you're like, oh, like that comes up later or just after you bought it. But it is what it is. This is a permanently free asset, so you don't need to pick it up right away. You can pick it up whenever, which is kind of cool. It's a little sci-fi kind of thing. Some different sky effects there, and little sci-fi kind of hallway. And this is just for, I think it's just for interior designers and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's not like actual in-game like game stuff, but it's really high quality assets and how you navigate them. Oh, excuse me. The cloud tool, be cool if you're like trying to make do some clouds and stuff like that. On my game, I have weather and stuff like that. And I could end up looking at this guy to see how they do their clouds to get that nice real cloud effect. But that's it for the new stuff this month. There's a couple things I wanted to go over. As you can see, I have a couple of games up here. One is character editor. Just gonna be doing a simple character editor for the main game. I think right now, like I said, I showed it off last week of what I was trying to do. So you just kind of your hairstyles, you know what I mean. Your face effects, dirt and stuff like that. Hat. If you go into the mail, you can leave the hat on the mail if you want, or you can use the mail hairdos. He has his own face effects, of course. Dirt and his own hat and sunglasses and beard. If I go over to this project I was working on editing clothing. So again, I think that having the clothing as a separate thing, that way I could apply like armor points and stuff to it, and you just equip it. So this is like a shirt that I was testing. So you just equip the clothing, and that's how I'm thinking of doing clothing. So you just like kind of like Rust. You're naked, you're running around, you get clothing. That way you could add protection levels to it. Like, so if the environment, if it's too cold or too hot, you want to wear appropriate clothing to match. You know what I mean? Or you might want to do that as a survival kind of thing. With that, let's get into the game. So the game went live last week. Awesome. I really didn't know what it was going to take to get live on Steam. My first kind of kick in the can, and it was cool. Everything, went up. And some people are like, "Oh, the game should have been more finished." But after talking to Steam, like this is what I'm doing early access. I put out there on all the early access forums that I'm a single dev, self-taught, just learning, and put my game out there on early access so people could try and give me, their personal views on how they like things, and if they like what they see, and I give them what I already have a game plan of how I want the game, and it's not really meant for like a beta test. It's not for bugs, but that's kind of how it ended up being a little bit, because it just wasn't optimized for some people. As you can see now, I have at least 3 versions of Unreal Engine open, which just some people have a hard time running one version of Unreal Engine. And I'm can start the game. Oh, I fixed the UI because the UI was on top of the intro screen here for a lot of people, which kind of upset them. So now the UI is gone. Weather is still random, so sometimes you'll get rain, snow, whatever it may be. So I started the game this time and it's thunder. The other thing I was looking into, when some people were dying, they couldn't, I think they even happened to the girlfriend. She couldn't respond, so let's see, I'm gonna die here. So I'm still looking into that. When I die, I can respond. But I don't know why it's happening on my end and not your guys's, so I have to look into that. I still have to look into these weapons. These weapons were here for just testing and fooling around with. I understand that they're not fully as optimal as this gun for first person and third person, but they'll get that there in time. So for optimization, all levels, foliage. I went from 3 levels of detail to 5 levels of detail, and I also added culling for all of them across the board. That's one of the things I try to do for optimization, hoping that will help. I went over all the hitboxes, making sure that the hitboxes were simple hitboxes, no complex hitboxes. So sometimes the level still takes a bit to load in here. I showed you guys the character builder. I brought that into the game. It still needs some work. So you can see here, gather wood. Some people are having hard times finding bushes. So bushes just like for fiber. Fiber are just like these kind of bushes here. What might have happened is maybe the hitboxes wasn't working on those guys quite well. So I made sure that when I was looking over the hitboxes that I double checked the hitboxes here. So you can see I'm still running 3 versions of Unreal right now. I'm streaming the video, and sprinting, and I have everything spawning in at a set distance. I can make the zombies spawn in a little bit farther from you, so you don't see them kind of drop in the world. But again, I just wanted to make sure optimization wise it could run on many computers as possible, not just my monster of a machine. And so when I get into the engine here, I'm going to show you the changes that I'm doing for the spawning too. So I'm doing because I noticed on the girlfriend's computer when I got a chance to play on hers, that when she was walking around, as the zombies were spawning, it was kind of slowing down her machine. She only has a 1070, and her computer is on a lighter side, so maybe, so that's why I thought maybe I'll adjust the spawner, and that will help. Yeah, other than that, really worked on the optimization. Like I said, I could run around here, but I'm loving your guys' feedback. Thank you guys so much for helping and supporting and giving me the feedback. And again, the game's only gonna get better and better and better from here, even as a single developer, just working on it in limited time. It's only week 42 working on the game. Yeah, there's some of the assets and some of the stuff I had to buy as a single developer. To create this character, I didn't create the character myself, the girl myself. I bought some stuff, but to get it into the game, to get everything meshed together, it does take a lot of work and a lot of time, and we're gonna get something going. There's a lot of ideas and stuff. The main UI I wanted to put in the game was going to be like all this HUD, stamina, health, gun temperature will all be I want all accessible via your cell phone. So I'm not a big HUD person, so I want to take away a lot of those HUDs. Oh, they just keep coming. Do I have any ammo left? One bullet. Oh, great. Run down here. Maybe give me some time. So what I was going to do is in the settings, I have the show HUD. This will be turned off by default, and then when you press your phone button, that is where you're going to be able to see all your information. But if you still like the HUD better, then you always have this setting to just turn the HUD back on. You know what I mean? But for now, let's go check out the engine. Alright, so I have a manager here. Again, this is a new spawn system that I picked up just because it's supposed to be a lot better for performance. And then I have all these hand-placed spawners of for my zombies. And I'm gonna go out here, and so I hand plot them all, and that's what I'll be doing for the rest of the map. Remember, each one of these zones is a whole level itself. So boom. So we'll open up this guy here for now, and I'll give an example of what I had before too. Another thing that I'm doing, as you can see when I zoom in and out, the trees, that's the culling that I have on the distance. So all the foliage and stuff like that, you can see. Zoom out, the foliage is gone. There, the foliage is back. So again, I did that to all of them just to see how people's performance is doing. It might be easy for mine, but it definitely might not be the same for yours. What I had done in both maps was stuff like this. This is a solid merged mesh that has levels of LODs to it. And so that's what I was doing. And it has a ton of little assets, like this hose, these cans, this. But when I open this guy up, if we go to details, when I open this guy up, you can see that he is 584 triangles, right? Like, pretty massive. So, and he has tons of textures and stuff like that. But I thought, from what I was told, that this would still be rendered easier as a solid mesh if you just merge it all. That's one of the things I'm going to try to break down. So I'm doing an example here in this area. As you can see, I have the level streaming volumes, one for the center of this kind of area, one for the north, the east, the west, and the south of it. And depending on when you enter, so if you enter the south, any objects that are supposed to be in the south, or if you enter the east, any of the objects that are from the east are going to spawn. So let's, on top of having the LODs on the objects, so kind of see the shadow and stuff of these going away, and you can see it pop in and pop out there. On top of having the LODs now, I'm breaking the objects, if they're in a small stack, I'm just doing the objects as a stack there, and then having them individually. And then that way, I'm also having it so when you enter this area here, or also, as you can see when I do the level streaming for this, as long as if you're in the interiors or the east, the objects here will be visible and will spawn. But the second you step like out here where you wouldn't see the object, now it's just going to fully despawn on top of having the levels of details, because normally if you're over here you wouldn't be able to see those objects anyway. So I'm going to get them loaded off of the screen, fully just dump them from the system, and I'm going to do that with all these interiors. So when you're inside this interior bubble, maybe I'll have them spawn, so when you turn around the corner all that stuff is there. But the second you step out here, you can no longer see what's inside that shed. All those things are going to despawn on top of having them individually placed. So I can kind of show you here. I started duplicating each one of these objects. So when I delete this mesh, they're going to be there. And so if I go, also I could show you with the eye again, if those objects disappear, because these objects are visible from the eastern zone, right? And the eastern zone also loads up in the center. So if they're in the center, it's still going to load these objects up, because people could still kind of see that dirt mound and that object if they're standing like right here, right? And I'm going to get more and more detailed with that, depending on what you guys' thoughts and concerns are with the optimization. Again, I want to be able to run on everybody's computer, so I'll be focusing on that, as well as still trying to get the little things in. To get out of alpha, like I said, alpha to me is all your features are in the game, and they're just not optimized. They're not complete yet. There's bugs, there's glitches. Like Active Creations right now, all their features are not in. Once your features are in, all their features are in, then you're in alpha. And one feature I'm still missing, like I said, is that cell phone. I want to get the cell phone in, and then that's it. Then I'll be in alpha, and I'm in alpha until you have all the features fully hashed out. And once everything works for features wise, then you're in beta. Then it's just content, right? And that's where the ongoing joke, like League of Legends and stuff like that, is perma beta. You know what I mean? They're always working on their stuff, because there's always content coming in. There's different ways that people do it, so they're technically out of beta. Like for me, my game's map based, so once this main map here, Dead Island, is complete, then I technically would be out of beta, and everything else is additional maps. But again, for the future, there's never going to be any extra fees, no matter how many different maps come out. Nothing. It's just it was a one-time fee. So if you guys bought the game for the $20, I think it is, then that's it. For all future content, it's going to be so if it becomes big enough that I could get dedicated servers and stuff like that, how I hope to pay for those servers and stuff is external stuff, like doing marketing or something like that for my website, selling merch or something, or you know what I mean, it just maybe enough people buy the game that I'm able to sustain the servers for a while. So we'll see how that goes from there. But I didn't want the game to be anywhere, like I want it to be like $20, like, you know what I mean, and that way it has a lot of people have access to it. And again, people ask me what my ideas were for the game. Well, again, I'm a solo indie developer, so I can never make an MMO, but making a simple map divided system, which is modular, so I could easily upgrade it. And when I upgrade using Unreal Engine, when Unreal Engine upgrades and new features comes, I can just update with the engine. Allows me to get as close as to an MMO as I can for a zombie game, because I really think there should be more like zombie MMOs. That'd be really cool, you know what I mean? Because and that's what I'm trying to hope with this, is to build a community. So I could go here and I could hit play at current location here. One of the last things, so doing the, like I said, you only need to click it once, just due to the tick system. It when it ticks is why. If you're wondering about the quality of my character right now, you can see at the top left, there's texture streaming in the engine. It depending on how many textures and stuff, it only allows a certain quality, but you could change that system. So while I was So I'm working on the FX at the same time. As I'm doing the optimization and stuff like that. And the last thing I wanted to kind of show you guys here, I'll speed up, is what kind of spawn system I had before. So the spawn system I had before that was easiest for me, I think I could almost just click it here. I could go persistent spawners. There we go. And show rebuild spawn points. Wow. With multiple versions. Oh, crash. Now, I normally don't get that crash. I should have probably closed these, but I keep everything open for while I'm doing my videos. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to try to show you guys that another time, because I don't usually, I just try to do everything in one cut. And this is like my 10th cut. And with these guys open at the same time, I had these guys open, like I said, just because if I fail a cut, then I redo it. I mean, my cut, I mean take, like a video take. I'm not a good editor, so I just do everything in one solid go and hope that it's smooth. But the video is probably pretty lengthy too, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I don't cut out like I did last time mid video, like ending, and hopefully I can go with this take this time. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I hope you guys have a good one. Ciao.